What is he now turned to God? Hovering over the city like that? What does he think he's religious? Hello, it's Tommy Ted here, as per usual. We had a look at Streets of Rage the other day. I think it's quite fitting that we have a look at Streets of Rage 2. I've got nothing better to do at the minute. It's a pleasant sort of late afternoonish, not quite evening. It's a bit strange for me to be filming at this time of day. Normally it's filmed, this stuff's filmed late at night. And I've got to be Axel for this one. Let's get into it. Now hopefully the audio will behave itself, unlike Streets of Rage did. For some reason the audio desynced with the master recording, so to try and get it back to normal was either going to be horrible choppy editing or try and refilm the whole thing. And to be honest, with the equipment I'm currently using, because I'm still waiting for the PC to be finished building, it's taking its time. I don't know if this will behave itself again. Also, I learnt that my audio on my end wasn't turned down low enough. So that bled through. But I still thought I'd put it out for you. Hopefully it's not, it wasn't too much of a deal breaker, albeit a pain in the ass. So, Streets of Rage 2. The darling of the series. Everyone loves this one. I love it. I'm, like I said last time, I'm not as nostalgic for it. I have the most nostalgia for Streets of Rage 1. This one I did play, but this one was always borrowed. I think I rented it once just before Mega Drive games were not available for rental anymore at the video store. And then it was always borrowed of someone that I knew had a copy. Because whenever I did hear Streets of Rage mentioned, everyone mentioned 2. Not so much 1. I wasn't so sure about Streets of Rage 2 when I first played it. It seemed to sort of drift away from the original in my mind at the time. No, different type of art style. The music, we now know it wasn't all done by Yuzo Koshiro. The music, some of the music really didn't sit well with me, even as a kid. To put in context, my very first musical memories as a kid is The Best of the Stray Cats and Alice Cooper's Trash. So I think you can see that Streets of Rage 2 soundtrack for me would be very jarring, to say the least. I've grown to appreciate it, although in terms of the actual style, that you know, it's like techno house music. I'm not into that genre. But I do like parts of it. If I'm going to put up with a huge session of techno music I damn well don't want to be doing it at a party or a club. I want to be playing this simultaneously. It's only really Streets of Rage 1 and 2's soundtrack and Sonic CDs. Anytime it gets into that style of music's territory, even in games, I do sort of get a bit nervous, to say the least. Don't know if I'm fully going to enjoy the game because I just really don't like that music. I will, in due time, of course, want to play Streets of Rage 4. I'm very nervous about that. I've heard some of that soundtrack. I'm really nervous about it, to be quite honest. I know at some point I'll be giving Streets of Rage 4 a go, but I'm really nervous about that game's soundtrack. It was looking so good until they told me that I found out, I should say, that Yuzo Koshiro's only a guest spot, and they had a whole bunch of other composers contributing to it, and it just looked like a mess. And then there was that whole other debacle with Limited Run, and then this other company releasing it physically, and but that's for another time, because let's continue with Streets of Rage 2. So, I used to borrow it, the once-off rental, and then just people I knew a couple of people that had it. I knew one bloke that had it, talked a lot about it, and I knew another bloke that had it, and didn't really actually talk about it that much. He was more an RPG fan, and he had way more love for Nintendo. But he had a Mega Drive, but he was way more. Funny enough, actually, he really fell in love with the Nintendo 64 and the GameCube, which was weird because he was the only person I knew that had a GameCube back in the day. Everyone either had a PS2 or an Xbox. He was the one kid that had a GameCube. I knew about 3 or 4 kids in school that had a 64. And then all of a sudden, GameCube, I only knew this one kid that had it. I never heard anyone talk about it. It was almost looking like a console war on the way between PS2 and Xbox. So, which is quite odd to think about, because when you think console wars, you don't think PS2 and Xbox. Of course, you think Mega Drive and Super Nintendo. And it wasn't even about the games, funny enough. It was always about the graphics. And keep in mind, this is not like late teens adults. This is bloody kids. Kids, early teens. Very early teens. But I really got to delve into Streets of Rage 2 when I picked up a Mega Drive compilation years later, my teen years. And I really got to dive into Streets of Rage 2 and really fell in love with it. I love the extra moves you could do. The sound effects in this game I do admit, are probably better than Streets of Rage 1. Streets of Rage 1 soundtracks still pack a punch. Yes, pun intended. And they do sound very brutal. However, these ones sound way more brutal. They really sound more brutal. I love it. And once again, like I said last time, I'm a sucker for bridge levels. I do love this one a lot. I think this one's really cool. And I love doing those ground uppers. They're so fun. Yeah, I don't know why, I'm just a sucker for bridge levels. Ow! I think mainly because I find that skylines, city skylines in pixel art, a lot of times, for the most part, look gorgeous. This one really does. I do love pixel art. God damn it. There's one thing I have not mastered well, is being able to talk and play at the same time. If I wasn't talking, wasn't filming, I'd be kicking this game's ass, but at the minute, I'm doing absolute shit house. That was a really strange thing for me with Streets of Rage 2, was the fact that you would transition like here into the truck, but the level wouldn't be over. When I was younger, I'd sit there and play it and go, "Where's the boss?" Or you know, in the bar, "Oh, Electra's the boss, okay," and then no, she's not the boss. She's just gets in the way. So that was interesting, was being able to swap scenes and still have it be part of the same level. I wasn't used to that. I was used to Streets of Rage 1, which was just, you know, a continuous playing. Even at the end of Streets of Rage, where you go into the room where Mr. X is, even that was just continuing. Wasn't like this where it would fade to black. Which is odd. Very itchy nose today. One thing I have noticed about Streets of Rage 2 is it is quite longer than Streets of Rage 1. Oh, and here we have Jet. This boss used to annoy me when I was a kid. It just felt cheap at the time. Now, not so much. But as a kid, I hated him. It's weird. It's like Turtles in Time in a way with Baxter Stockman flying in the air. Interesting. Ow. Got him. This is all I would do as a kid, was bait and lure him into a jump kick. Oh. I bet your speedrunners will look at me just going, "You're doing it all wrong." Ow. There we go, that's got him. All right. Now we're at the amusement park. This is another level that I always found peculiar as a kid, and it's not until a little bit later on it felt weird, because I was so used to Streets of Rage 1 and it all going through you know, real like city locations. Not that amusement parks are imaginary, but it sort of felt like it was going into a sort of fantasy inspired type thing, and it felt strange. Even now, sometimes I have to do a double take at some of the things in this, but they're coming up. Oh, slammed in the wall. Whoa. Oh. I didn't mind this track too much. This wasn't as tough as some of the other tracks. I do remember that. I do like the glow of the lights in the back. That's nice. So I always felt, because of what, those barrels, they look like wine barrels. I always thought they should have been in the bar. As a kid, I thought, why aren't they in the bar? But then when I saw the next screen as a kid, I realised why, because I hadn't seen the sign in the back. Oh, popped out of nowhere. Come on. You can get... Yes! Smacked in the face. Now, this really, I had to double take when I saw this as a kid. A pirate ship. Why was there a pirate ship in Streets of Rage? This is a question that a kid asked me. Why was there a pirate ship? No. I played this before I went to any theme parks. I didn't go to any theme parks until a little bit later in my life. Not until I was about 12. Because where I was, there wasn't any real theme parks. There was little tiny ones, but no. They really just attract hillbillies. They're all up in Queensland. SeaWorld, Warner Brothers Movie World. They were the big two when I was a kid. Dreamworld hadn't been built yet. And then I remember when they started. I'm pretty sure I remember when they started building it. But the big two when I was a little kid was SeaWorld and Movie World. And SeaWorld had a pirate ship, and then I went, oh, okay. But at the time, this just seemed, it just seemed really, you know, because I'd been so used to, I'd gotten so used to the first one, even after the first time playing this, that when I would revisit it, it's like a pirate ship. And then there's this building with teeth on the front, and I know it's an amusement park, but still, I was like, this is Streets of Rage. I mean, I don't hate it, but I wasn't sitting there at the same time going, wow, this is awesome. It just seemed strange. Now I've gotten, you know, now I've gotten used to it. You know, it's just, oh, we're here now. Okay. But now, yeah, now we come to here, and here was when it got really, really weird for me. I was like, what's happening here? And the music was really weird, and it didn't sit well with me when I was a little kid. Now when I play it, I just sit there and chuckle, because I have had conversations with people in recent years over this level, and yeah, it does have its fans. Yeah, I will be honest, they are nerds that love the idea of it being in that vein of Alien and Predator. I actually don't really have a lot to say on those movies. Actually, they never really sunk in with me. I remember, and people were going to go off their head at me. I was at a friend's house in my teen years, and he put on Predator, and I remember having the shits, because he was allowed, no, we weren't adults, but he was allowed to watch Predator, but he wasn't allowed to watch The Simpsons. I don't know why. The Simpsons was banned in his house. They weren't religious or anything. They were far from religious. They were full-blown atheists, this family. But they weren't allowed to watch The Simpsons. And this is teenagers. Like we're talking 13, 14, but he was allowed to watch Predator. And I remember having the shits because I wanted to watch The Simpsons. Predator? Fuck this, I want to watch The Simpsons. I didn't pay a lot of attention to it. I actually managed to convince him to turn it off and put on the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles movie. Yeah. So me, him, and this guy's dad sat up till about 1 in the morning, and we watched Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, and actually Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles 2 in a row, which was cool. We didn't watch 3, we decided we'd go to bed. Although at the time we did get enjoyment out of 3. We knew it was a hot mess, but we did manage to somehow get some enjoyment out of it. And then I think, from memory, the next day, yes, it was the next day, we caught the bus to do some more nostalgic feels. We went to the cinemas to see the first Michael Bay Transformers. And as a teenager, and I actually hadn't had a lot of experience with Transformers. I didn't grow up watching them. I didn't grow up loving them. So I actually got a kick out of seeing the Michael Bay Transformers. And I don't care if you judge me or not. I really don't care. I was a teenager starting to go through puberty. I absolutely enjoyed the hell out of watching Megan Fox. And don't act like half of you watching weren't like that either. So, yeah. So that's my only real Predator story when people ask me about Predator. And Aliens, and my Alien story, well, yeah, I love Ghostbusters, and Ghostbusters and Alien have Sigourney Weaver in it. There you go. That's really pulling something out of my ass, but that's all I got. Dear. Ow. So, I know some people will ask this, even privately. I know I said that I got most of this experience with a compilation, but I do now own an original box complete copy of Streets of Rage 2. Funny enough, from memory, I actually bought it the week after my heart attack. I got it off eBay, and I somehow managed to win this bidding war for it at like 10 to 11 in the morning or something. And it was a really nice copy too. I was super pleased to have it. And emotions were running high then. I mean, like, I was really pleased to have it. Because at that point in time, it was the only real happiness I had, because yeah, coming back after my heart attack and a lot of other stuff that was going on. If you've watched my Musha or Less video, then you'll know. Yeah, let's just say a part of me wasn't really pleased that I survived the heart attack. And then to win this, and funnily enough, I actually stopped halfway through work to bid on it. I was actually back at work already. I was mainly actually just overseeing the job, and I sat there and yelled at, "Righto, break time." No, we can go for another hour. No, break time. I don't want to watch his work because I want to watch this bidding option so I can see if I'm going to win this bloody game or not. And I will be 100% honest, that is not the first time I've done it, and it won't be the last time I've done it. I have done that so many bloody times, but then again, I'm the boss of the business, so I can do that and not get in trouble. And who doesn't like their boss coming up and telling them you get to have an extra break? So win-win. And fortunately for me, 99.99% of the time, the clients are not there to see this happen, so what they don't know doesn't affect them. And I know none of them watch my content. And then about a year later I got Streets of Rage. No, not even a year later I got Streets of Rage 3. Yes, because a year later after that was when I got Musha. But that is a whole massive video of itself, which I'm sure you've all watched. So the most amount of time I played this and wouldn't get off it was actually just after the heart attack. It was between this and Shadow Dancer. I picked up Shadow Dancer again after a while, and really got to sink my teeth into that and actually beat Shadow Dancer many times in that space of what's that, 2 months or something like that. I kept playing Shadow Dancer in this. It feels quite strange to be coming back to a beat 'em up, because last year was really the year of beat 'em ups for me. That last year was really my beat 'em up year, because last year was the year that I got Streets of Rage 3. I got The Punisher on Mega Drive. I was able to pick up a way nicer copy of Turtles in Time than the old bootleg I had. Old bootleg of Turtles in Time. I managed to pick up a really nice copy of Hyperstone Heist. I bought the Capcom Beat 'em Up bundle. And then one of my other real big memories was buying the Capcom Beat 'em Up bundle for a friend of mine for his PS4, because I was away for work. So I bought it for him as a thank you for checking my mail, because I had some eBay packages, one of which I really should show to you actually. Yes, because that did arrive when he was collecting my mail. Fleetway, the comic book company in the UK that did Sonic the Comic, they did a string of Streets of Rage comics revolving around Streets of Rage 2. They did one as a trade paperback. I actually have it. When we're done playing through this, I'm going to show you that, because it's in the other room. I'll have to pause and go get it. But I will definitely show you that, because not many people know about that, and not many people, and even fewer people, know that it actually came out in a trade paperback. With a Shinobi one, and I actually have both. Really cool pieces to have. I won't show the Shinobi one, I'll save that for when we do a Shinobi game, but I will show you the Streets of Rage one, because it came out around about the time, yeah, just after this came out, and pretty much before Streets of Rage 3 came out, but it revolves around the characters of 2, because it has Max. And the Ultimate Warrior has come back again. So he returned for Halloween Havoc. Did Ultimate Warrior ever come back for like a bash at the beach or something in WCW? Or is this Halloween Havoc, and the last time where he appeared twice was that second time WrestleMania, whatever it was, where all of a sudden out of nowhere you hear his music and he comes absolutely flying down the walkway to battle Hogan. I don't know, either way, faux Ultimate Warrior's back here. Oh, we're done. Oh, we've got some continues. Let's show off another character. Let's do Max. For something a little bit different, eh? I can go for a tad longer. I don't think, once again, that I'll play through the whole game. I doubt that, because knowing my luck, this will glitch up on me if it hasn't already. I won't know until actually I publish the video. Oh! So, funny enough, when I play Streets of Rage 1, I'm mostly Adam. Sometimes Axel. But when I play Streets of Rage 2, Axel is my pick 99% of the time. And even in Streets of Rage 3, he's my pick basically 100% of the time. I don't normally play with, it's only Streets of Rage 1 where I mostly play as Adam. And every time you watch a speedrun of Streets of Rage 2, they always use Max, and you just see them slide, like that. They must get sore thumbs afterwards to doing all those button inputs. Because sometimes even when you play beat 'em up normally, you get sore thumbs and fingers. So once again, like Streets of Rage 1, we have a boat level. We're actually inside the boat, not on top. Although, if I'm spoiling this for you, really, why haven't you played this already in your life? We do walk on top of the boat in a couple of seconds. That's like Hagar from Final Fight. And Max is even wearing the wrestling tights. Pants, anyway. Even the boots. Well, I know in the backstory, he was a wrestler, wasn't he? I know Hagar was. I think Max was a wrestler too. I know they made him a wrestler in the Fleetway comic. That was... Well, Fleetway took liberties with everything, I guess, because nothing was really set in law, although with Streets of Rage 4, I mean, it's Streets of Rage is a series, I don't know about 4 until I play 4, if they've, really put in a full-blown story mode, or anything, because I've got no experience with Streets of Rage 4. I'm sure that will change. Well, yeah. But I know back then there was nothing really to go on, except a little bit of stuff that was written on the back of the covers or in the instruction manuals. What's the bit? I've walked past that. Oh, I managed to get it. That's nice. It wasn't there. That's nice. I was able to get the food. Get off me. Oh, and that did absolutely nothing. Oh, that's brutal. Come on. Hey. Someone there, I'm tipping, is missing teeth. Ow, I hate the Muay Thai guys. Jesus Christ. Oh, for once he decided not to grab me. Ha! Cop that in the shins. Now we're on top of the boat. Oh, I love those slams. They're so brutal. Oh, you're back, are ya? Come on. Oh! Ow. That's that. Alright, well, I think we'll call it at that. Yeah, I'm running out of stuff to say, really. So, we'll cut it here. And what I will do is, we'll do a nice jump cut, and I'm going to show you this comic book. Give me 1 second, I'm going to go get it. Okay, now, this is it. Bad City Fighters. It's a nice trade paperback of the first Streets of Rage story in Fleetway Comics. What is interesting about this is when you actually open it up and read it. So when did this come out? It was only 93. Has it got a... So the story was published in Fleetway Comics in 92, and this came out in 94. So this probably came out around about the time of Streets of Rage 3. Or just a little bit after, because Streets of Rage 3 was February 94, I think. So, when you actually open up and read it, for those that that haven't seen this, it's got great illustrations, great use of colour, but the actual drawings look like old cartoons and comics. Some of the drawings have a real kind of 1960s Dick Tracy cartoon kind of feel to them. They look a lot like the drawings the Dick Tracy cartoon in the 60s. Yeah, and even in some aspects, when you look at some of the sharpness of the drawings, I wonder if whoever was illustrating this kind of got a feel for like the Batman animated series in a way, because sometimes even some of it does look like that in a way. And that bald Lex Luthor looking bloke is Mr. X. They did not design him at all like the game. They for some reason went with a goateed Lex Luthor type vibe, but whatever. But it's actually for a cheap, you know, extra story in the back of Sonic the Comic. It's actually a bit of fun. It doesn't go really intense or really insane, but it is a fun read, and it is a very nice thing to have. So there's that. Oh, just quickly also, here's my real Streets of Rage 2. Everyone's seen this, and yeah, nice and complete, really nice. Yeah, I do like the Streets of Rage 2 with the Roman numerals. I know America had just the number 2, but this is Roman numerals. I quite like the Roman numeral one, actually. That's really nice. Anyways, we're going to leave it at that. Yeah, that was a bit of fun. It's always fun to play Streets of Rage 2. Who doesn't love Streets of Rage 2? Yeah, if you haven't played it, what the hell's wrong with you? You should have by now, come on. And other than that, I guess the only logical thing to do now would be to move on to Streets of Rage 3. So, that'll be the next one. I'll see you guys later for Streets of Rage 3. Bye guys.